Fancy.
Now, the movie did so well that additional movies were made, sequels of, shall we say, rather dubious nature.
Well, yeah. And probably dubious nature, too, because we were talking about the 70s.
Probably. Now...
Just stay silent and go with your own beings.
Hey, that was funny now.
Hey, I'm telling myself what to do, not you.
Now, as the Fouke Monster is pretty much a variation on the Bigfoot legend. There are certainly differences. Most apes, as the guy says, tend to be diurnal, meaning they're active during the day. But Sasquatches / Bigfoots, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. I don't think you put an S.
Okay.
I think it's one of those that is plural.
Either way.
That can be plural in the singular. Bigfoot.
But Bigfoot is known to be crepuscular. At the very least. Do you know what crepuscular is, Krysta?
Do I look like I know what crepuscular is, Dad?
No, you don't look like you don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I'm trying to figure it out. But, yeah, would you mind telling me what it is?
Absolutely. Animals are diurnal, which means they're active in the day. Nocturnal, which means they're active at night. Or crepuscular, they tend to be active at twilight.
Ah.
Twilight?
Yes, right at that point where day becomes night. So, like as the sun sinks, they become more active. But they're not active all night. They're not truly nocturnal. They are crepuscular. Isn't that a great word?
Yeah. No, never using that.
Your sister Alyssa is crepuscular.
No, she stays up all night. She's nocturnal.
The Fouke Monster may be entirely nocturnal. I don't see this as a big issue. I really don't. There are those who say that it can't be real, even people who believe in Bigfoot argue it can't be real because it's active at night. And my thing is And do you have another reason?
Exactly.
Like, have you seen it before? No? Oh, I don't want to hear you say anything. Have you been anywhere near one? No? Okay. Be quiet then. Like, I love that you have a opinion, but I really don't want to hear it if you hadn't got any information.
There you go.
Now, Sheriff Leslie Greer, who was the sheriff that arrived at the Fords, in response to them.
Sure.
He kept a good eye on his town. And shortly after the Fords encounter, hunters began to take an interest in the Fouke Monster. And so many showed up that Sheriff Greer was forced to put a temporary no-guns policy in place in order to preserve public safety. And in 1971, 3 people were fined $59 each for filing a fraudulent monster report.
I see.
So
if you find one of those, you were just automatically had to pay $95 for 3 other people.
There are sporadic reports of the creature to this day.
So, did you hear what your...
No. Say it again. I missed it. Sorry.
I said, if three people complain about the monster at the same time, they have to pay $95 automatically?
No, I think it's the matter of... It's not like the Fords who said, hey, this thing attacked us, and there's a little bit of evidence, even though it's not specifically evidence of a monster attacking them. There's a little bit of evidence of something happening, and the sheriff going, well, Something happened. I don't know if I believe what you're saying happened, but something did, and I'm going to let it go. I think these had to be cases where the sheriff was like, there is no monster here. There's no proof of a monster here. You guys are wasting my time.
Oh, so it's just like, you're not showing me any of the information I need. I don't know what you were trying to do, but there is no information here, so I will be making you pay the fine.
Right. And I think in those cases, I heard an interview with the guy, and he sounded fairly canny. Very smart. This was later in his life, so he's older, but he still sounded fairly smart. So I think he just suspected that he was being used to sort of back up a hoax, and rather than let that go down, he just sort of went, yeah, I don't believe you, $59.
Look, you're wasting my time. Give the money. I did not get paid for this.
Now, here are some more recent sightings. The latest of these is 2019. The earliest is 74.
Okay.
Pretty much dating from now back to the Ford's encounter. In 2019, a young witness in Fouke, Arkansas, said she saw a monkey man in the woods while sitting in her father's truck riding along one of the rural roads at night. The location is near the Sulphur River, where many sightings of the Fouke monster have been reported over the years. In November of 2019, in Smackover, Arkansas, which isn't that a great name?
Yeah.
Which is 65 miles from Fouke, a couple driving south of there saw a tall, upright animal dart into the woods around 11 p.m. The creature looked as though it was about to run across the road when it saw the car and ran back into the woods. The couple described it as being very large, at least 6 to 7 feet tall, and definitely not human. Its eyes reflected red in the headlights, and it ran off with a quickness that was way too quick for a human.
Huh.
Well then.
In October of 2018, 2 female witnesses in Fouke were driving north on rural Highway 71 in the early evening when they saw a large upright figure run across the road in approximately 4 strides. As they passed by in their car, they could see it running down the middle of the road, which runs perpendicular to the highway. Again, they noted the red eyes. And that's something else that Bobby Ford and Elizabeth Ford mentioned, is the thing has red eyes. And now, like we covered in our last episode, there is no known creature with red eye shine. So, I figured the Fouke monster was calling to go, I don't have red eyes! Figured you're friends with him.
Visine.
Yeah, it could be.
No, that was, one of my friends. We're not gonna mention his name here, because I don't want to give out any personal information. Thank you.
Now, in November of 2017, also in Fouke, a truck driver traveling just south of Fouke, at approximately noon, when he observed what appeared to be a large hair-covered animal in a clear-cut pipeline. The figure was moving upright on 2 legs in the clear-cut between a fence and a deer stand. In May of 2017, also in Fouke, a man and his wife were driving near Boggy Creek at around dusk. As the woman looked towards the northbound lane, she saw a real tall, hairy, human-like figure with red eyes once again, standing at the tree line. She became terrified, and as she looked closer, she exclaimed, "What is that?" Her husband was driving and could not look back fast enough to see the figure. The woman does not think it was a person.
Yeah, no, that doesn't seem like it would be a person.
2016 in Fouke, a newspaper carrier was driving south on Highway 71 at 4 a.m. when a tall bipedal figure stepped into the road and ran across with long strides. In the headlights, a witness could see that his body was covered in hair. After it crossed the road, it disappeared into the woods. The witness pulled over and smelled a foul odor, presumably left by the creature.
So, is it an opossum? Well, a foul odor. And we know that opossums live in the area, so maybe.
The opossums probably hang out with it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're probably friends. They probably have tea parties. Eating garbage at the same time.
24.
How was your good day, sir? I mean, it was fine. A couple humans were being annoying, so I had to go attack them, but... Oh, yeah, I had to bite one's finger. Really? Mm-hmm. You have any, rotten apple over there? Yeah, here you go.
Okay, then.
Now, in 2014, there's 2 sightings. One in November, a local resident was driving along a back road near the Sulphur River at approximately 9:30 when she saw a bipedal ape-like animal come out of the woods and stop in the road. It was approximately 5 feet tall, covered in brown hair, and had dark brown eyes. It gazed at her momentarily before running into the thick woods on the other side of the road. It did not run like a bear. Also in 2014, 7 miles from Fouke in the small town of Doddridge, Arkansas, while gathering firewood near Mercer Bayou, a local resident surprised a small bipedal ape-like creature, presumably a juvenile, as it made a moaning cry in the woods. When the creature ran, the witness attempted to follow, but lost sight as it ran into the murky water and dense cypress trees of the bayou. In 2013, in February, a local resident sees a large ape-like creature crouching near a county road in the early morning before sunrise. In 2012, it was seen running across country miles a few miles south of Fouke during daylight hours. The witness felt the creature fit the description of the Fouke monster, was confident that it was not an ordinary animal. In 2011, it was seen also on a county road near Fouke.
So to sum up, it has been seen by many people in this area many times. Yes?
Yes. And the descriptions are mostly consistent.
Right.
Now, here's an interesting note of comparison, and I found this on Reddit, and it makes a certain amount of sense. There is another Bigfoot kind of creature that has 3 toes, or leaves 3-toed tracks. That's the Honey Island Swamp Monster. Now, 421 miles separate Fouke from the Honey Island Swamp. My opinion is, while that is a realistic range for a wild creature, I don't think they're one and the same, but they are almost certainly related.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, butterflies and birds migrate from one part of the hemisphere to the other part of the hemisphere. So, I mean, and they're small. So if you have a large, furry, bipedal, angry, red-eyed creature stomping around, I don't think that it's too far of a stretch to say maybe Cousin It got mad at Cousin Harry Francis, and they parted ways, and Harry Francis moved 420 miles away and changed his name to Honey Badger. It's a possibility.
A Honey Island Swamp Monster. A honey badger is a definite thing and does not look anything like a hairy 3-toed hominid with red eyes.
She was trying to make a point.
I'm throwing the idea out there. This is the family plot. We've got to give family ideas to these cryptid concepts. It's a thing.
Yes.
It is very much a thing. And in fact, I checked on Reddit like I always do.
Okay.
And there's quite a few Redditors who have claimed to have seen a large hairy hominid traveling through the Fouke/Boggy Creek area. 1 or 2 fairly close to the Fouke Monster Mart. But I would say if it's close to the Monster Mart, probably a guy in a suit. Just saying.
Yeah.
You know, they need business too. That's all I'm saying. Now,
It's like
there are some